Joined by Carthage College now. We have head coach L.J. Marks, Matt Reinzel, and Zach Lillig. Coach, if you would open with a statement.
A tough night. Dominican, I think they struggled a little bit in the first set, obviously, but credit to them. They turned it around, picked it up, and competed with a passion and executed very well. So without question, hats off to those guys. They played a fantastic match tonight.
You guys had a lot of success in the first set, and Dominican struggled a lot in the first set, but they were able to clean it up. What was the biggest thing that you guys saw out of them?
Yeah, I don't know. They just they stopped making errors. They're being really terminal with the ball, and we were just having a really hard time stopping it at the net and with their backcourt defense. So.
Block was successful early, kind of tailed off late. Changes, setter doing anything different to get you guys out of sync?
We just came out really strong from the service line, and not that we got off of that, but they really started to pick up their passing and really started to work against our block there.
Zach, as someone who has to block, how tough is Spicer to deal with? I mean, he just doesn't seem to miss often.
Yeah, he's a really good player, and obviously it's tough to block a really good player like him no matter where he is. He's a good swing on the ball, but it just comes down to getting an early read and getting a quick press over so we can get a good defensive touch on him if we can.
You guys were up 15-11 at one point in one of the sets and then went to the media timeout. You think that hurt you guys at all? Slow the momentum down, or?
No. Timeouts happen. You know what I mean? Coaches call timeouts for the other team. We call timeouts. So, if it did, it certainly isn't an excuse. It's about executing, and they ultimately just did a little bit better job than we did. I mean, if you look, they almost doubled us up in kills in a couple of the sets. They were just earning more points, and the trick with volleyball is you can't run out a clock. You can't play defense to a win. You have to score points. In the first set, it was more about their errors, and in the last three, they just earned more points than we did, and that was the difference.
It seemed like they had a strong finishing kick in each set, obviously, and I mean that's important. But you explain that a little bit. I mean, things were kind of hanging in the balance, and then I think they closed 5-1 in the second, 6-1 in the third, obviously in the fourth as well.
Yeah, they went to win. They were going for a win, and we were kind of I would say on our heels. It was them being aggressive, and our I won't say being tentative, but being more on the side of I don't want to make a mistake instead of going and getting a win. And that's never going to be a recipe for success from our standpoint. For them, I mean, when you're going to win and playing to win, you're usually going to win.
Zach, Matt, and LJ, for each of you, just thoughts on how the season went and getting to play on your court in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, would have loved to be there next week, but just having the opportunity to play in a postseason game here, just what has it meant to you guys?
Well, like we said in the locker room after the match, we just took into account everything that's happened this season, and ultimately it wasn't a bad season, just a good season with a bad ending. So, playing here was awesome. Home matches are always great, and it's great turnout from both sides, so it was a very exciting environment to play in. Would have been nice to take a little farther and have the opportunity to do it again, but just disappointed.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really fun game tonight, regardless of the outcome. And it was a great season all year, honestly. We played great. I felt just couldn't close it at the end.
I was going to say, it's, what were we, 24-2 on the season? That's tough to be mad about. Only one team gets to finish the season on the last day very excited. Everybody else, in different levels will view it as a disappointment. Unfortunately, we're one of those teams this year. But in perspective, I'm sure there's, 70 to 80 teams that would gladly have traded spots with the opportunity we had this year. So, the last day is disappointing, but from a reflective standpoint, it's pretty hard to be upset about this season. battling through some of the injuries we had, which every team does, having to grind it out through the dead of winter when half the team is sick. I mean, everybody has to do that. And we came through those with wins. So nothing to be upset about. They played a better match than we did tonight. They executed better than we did tonight. That was the ultimate answer. So credit to them.
LJ, one last thing. You talked about the other day when I talked about controlling emotions, being the home team and being a little too amped up from the get-go. Obviously, that was not a problem tonight. I thought you guys handled that part of it really well.
I think it was almost reversed. I think they were a little bit tense in the first set. They made a lot of errors. Obviously, our students, and fans, and the environment was fantastic tonight, and that definitely helped. I think it definitely put them on their heels. Once they settled in, it became a little bit more of a fight, and then it just came down to executing the details.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.